Hello, my friends. I hope that you are all having a lovely, blessed day. I am having a great day and I'm so happy to be back. I know it's been quite a while since I filmed my last video. As you all may know, I got a job and I've been working so much to help pay off debt. That's mainly our main goal as a couple, as a family. So my husband has been the breadwinner for so many years. I would just have small jobs here and there just to help out a little bit. But he's the one that's been paying everything. Throughout the years, we've been getting into some debt. I want to share that with you all today. I am going to be doing a debt snowball tracker. I'm going to be going over on how you can pay off your debt. I'm also going to be doing a video on my overall debt for the year, or what the update on my actual debt is. And I will say, as a little sneak peek, I will say that I have paid some debt off, but I have acquired some debt as well. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all this tracker that I've made. This is going to be available on my Etsy shop, and you can print it as many times as you want at home. What I did is I laminated it and I did double-sided. That way, if you have more than 6 debts, then you can just use the back, or you can use as many trackers as you'd like. You can also add like, oh, tracker number 1. Let's say you are in debt, you have more than 12 accounts. Then you can download 3 of these, or as many as you need in order to keep track of your debt. I did a video explaining to you all what a debt snowball was. This is something that Dave Ramsey came up with, and he's a financial advisor. If you have a couple debts, you want to try and pay the first one off. I'll explain it to you step by step, but I kind of wanted to share with you all like a quick overview of it, about it. Hopefully I can explain it well, that way you are able to understand. So let's say you start off with a small snowball, right? And then once you start adding snow to it, the snowball gets bigger. So this is what you're going to do with your debt. Let's say you have a small debt here. This minimum payment that you pay, once you're done, you're going to try and tackle it with as many extra cash as you can. That way, once you're done with paying that debt, you're able to add the minimum payment to your first debt to the next one, and you're going to keep going on until you pay everything off. But let me explain to you. I have it written down here, what I wrote on my little tracker. Step number 1, and I always like to go by steps, like, oh, okay, what do I do first? So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to make a list of your debt from the smallest amount to your largest amount. I'm going to go over everything, that way I can give you an example. So step number 2, you're going to fill in the minimum payments, what you can pay for the month. Then you're going to calculate extra funds. Let's say you have a side hustle, an extra job, or you're selling things, which I want to sell my camera. I've been selling a couple things here and there because I'm trying to tackle my debt as fast as I can, and it's been quite a struggle. Even though I got this new job, it's difficult. I've been getting a little bit stressed because I want to pay everything off so fast, but I know everything takes time. So anyways, if you have any extra funds, you're going to apply it to that debt. Always pay extra money to the smallest debt first until it's paid off in full. Once you're done paying that debt, then you're going to apply the minimum payment to your next step. Also, if possible, you can apply extra funds along the way as well, and you're going to watch that snowball grow. It's going to get bigger, and you're going to be tackling off each debt, and you're going to be paying them off, and you're going to be so happy, so excited. Be amazed on how fast your debt will be paid off. So let's do an example scenario, because I know that you want to see how this works. Quick interruption. I am going to be doing my overall debt, my update on how much debt I have so far. So please stay tuned for that video. I'm going to be doing all these videos back to back because right now I'm on vacation. If you didn't know it, I'm working as a kindergarten teacher and I have some time off, and I'm so excited to be back and to share all these videos with you all. I am so happy. So happy. Okay, step number 1. And I'm going to make some easy numbers. That way it's easy for me to explain it to you all. So for step number 1, let's say you have a credit card. Turn it a little bit. By the way, this tracker, you're going to be able to erase it. Even if you're using a permanent marker, you're going to be able to erase it and reuse it. If you laminate it, you can just use any rubbing alcohol or Clorox wipes. So let's say this is a credit card. Credit card number 1, which I should have put like a name, but anyways, that's what I wrote on there, credit card. And here, these are my actual credit cards, but I'm not putting the actual amounts because I want to do that video. That way I can explain to you all what my actual debt is right now. So sorry if I keep repeating myself. It is like the first time. Yeah, I'm just back and I might get a little tongue twisted. Okay, let's say I have a credit card and the due date is on the 1st. And Wells Fargo is also due on the 1st. Now I'm going to put here on the months and the budget. So I'm going to put the month. Let's say we're starting in January. I'll just put Jan. I know January could fit there if I wanted to make it smaller, but I'm just going to leave it as is. So let's say it's the beginning of the year. So my minimum payment, what I pay for this credit card is $50. And I actually paid $50. And then the balance on this one, let's just say I owe $60. I'm almost done with this one. And then for the next one, I'm also going to pay it on January the 1st, 2023. For Wells Fargo, I actually owe $200 is the balance. The minimum I pay on here is $50 as well. And then I paid for this month of January. Let's say I paid $50. My next step is Victoria's Secret, because during Black Friday, I just had to take advantage of those great deals they were having. I know that I should have stayed away from those deals, but I just had to go to the store. And this is not my actual debt, but I do owe quite some there. Okay, so the date that this is due, let's just say it's also the 1st. I won't be putting the interest rates, but usually for stores and my Wells Fargo credit card, that interest rate is pretty high. But just so I can make this example the most easiest for you to understand, I'll leave that out for now. Now, I also paid this on the 1st. So the minimum for Victoria's Secret, I usually pay about $40. Let's say my balance is $120. So the minimum is $40 and I paid $40. Now my next step, I owe a car loan. Let me zoom you in. This one is a car loan and the due date is, let's say it's the 2nd. And I paid it also on the 1st. The minimum is $120. But I like to pay a little more, and I really do. In reality, I pay a little bit more. And my balance on this is, let's say it's $1,100. That way we can have easy numbers and we can have this explained as easiest as I can for you all. And in reality, I have way more debt than this. But for this example, we'll just leave it as is. So for January, my budget, I'm paying $50 here, $50 here, that's $100. $140, $260. That's my budget for the month. And I made all of my payments. Now the next month, it's February. Let's say, oh, we're in February now. So I'm going to owe $10 on this one. So my balance is $10. For example, I owed $110. Because I paid $50, and if you paid $50, you have $60 left. So for the month of February 2023, I'm going to pay $50. Minimum is $50 and I paid $50. So I owe $10 for the month of February. So for the next bill, $50, I owe $200. Well, I actually owed $250, right? If I paid $50. So I'm going to pay again $50. And then I made a payment of $50, so I owe $150 to my credit card. Okay, the same month I paid $40 as my minimum, and I also paid, let's say if I owed $160 and then I paid $40, I owe $120, that's the balance. And let's say I had like a little extra money that came along. That way we can have like an easier number to calculate. I paid $60. So I would owe $60 onto this one. And then the same month, I paid $120. That's my minimum. And then, my minimum is $120, and I paid, let's say I paid $150. So So for my car loan, I owe $950. I had to take out my calculator, friends. And you will be surprised. I have a 7-year-old. He just turned 7. He is the sweetest, my little boy. I mean, any mom would say that about their kids, right? We were playing Monopoly. And my son, when we were adding up the totals, I told him, hold on, let me get my Siri so she can help me out add my totals. And he said, I don't want to use, I want to do the calculations in my head. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? Like, I can't even, like, I guess because we have a lot of things going on in our mind, I can't even do like a simple calculation in my head. And he did it in his brain. He's like, okay, so I have this many points and this much cash. He surprised me big time. So for the month of February, let's say I had $310. That was my budget to pay off my debt, or the extra funds that I had after paying off all of my bills. Let's just pretend that I already paid my mortgage, my electricity, all of my cell phone, everything, all of my fixed expenses, everything's paid off. This is how much money I have extra to pay off debt. So that's the amount. That's where I'm getting this amount from. Moving on to the month of March. I'll just put March there. So let's say I just want to pay this one off. The minimum is $50, but I don't owe anything anymore. So I mean, I don't owe as much. So I'm going to pay $10. So my balance would be 0. Yay. I owe 0 to the first credit card. So for February, for March, I'm gonna again pay $50 is the minimum. I'll pay the 50. So I owe $100 in this one. Now for the next one here, hoping you're able to see it. Hey friends, Delia Mireya here, doing a quick interruption. As I was editing this video, I noticed that I made 2 big mistakes. Now for the first credit card number 1, that first debt, once that credit card is paid off, there was $40 extra. So let's just say that I went to Chipotle. I wanted to treat myself to eat out. So for that month, I didn't make that extra payment to any of the other debts. Now that mistake easily fixed, right? But the other ones, I actually budgeted and miscalculated in amounts. We are just going to keep going, as this is only an example, and I am sharing with you all a way that you can pay off your debt fast using the Snowball method with this debt snowball tracker. Okay, let's keep going with the video. For the month of March, I'm going to, the minimum is 40. I'm gonna go ahead and pay 60 again. And then the balance is going to be 0. And then for the month of March, for the car loan, minimum is 120, and I like to pay a little bit more, 150. So that would be $800. So I'm very excited because guess what? For the month of March, I already tackled one of my debts. Wait a minute, 2 of them. I paid 2 debts off. I'm going to have some extra cash on these 2 to pay off my next bills. Let me explain to you all how that's going to work. So for the month of March, again, I had $310. And then for the month of April, minimum is 50. And I'm going to pay $100 in this one. So I have $50 left for extra funds from this one. So those $50 that I have extra for the month of March, I'm going to add it to this credit card payment, and that is the Snowball method. So I'm going to pay $100, and then my balance here is going to be 0. I would owe 0 for the month of April, sorry. That one's paid. So I already spent $100. So 310, I have $210 left. So I'm going to make that payment onto the car loan. Instead of, see, the minimum is 120, but for this month I'm going to pay $210. So the balance will be $590. Now we're in the following month. You see how we're starting to add up all those extra funds and trying to pay off this debt. So for the month of May, again, we're going to have, let's say we end up selling a couple things, or like me, I'm going to sell this camera just because I want to also declutter my house for the year. So let's say that you sold a camera, or you sold a couple things on Etsy, or you went on Mercari, and then, because that's the place where I sell, and I also sell on OfferUp. So let's say you come up with $200 more. So this month of May, you have $510. Yeah, let's just say it's 510. Minimum is 120, and you pay 510. You would just owe $80. Anytime that you're paying off your debt, you can always you can erase these with alcohol or Clorox wipes. So I have $80 left in my debt. So in the month of June, I'm going to pay obviously $80, right? Well, I have $310 is what I usually have extra. I'm going to have $230 extra funds left, and this money you can use for an emergency savings fund, or you can use it to save on something else. I'm hoping that I was able to explain this to you all and how this snowball method works. Just give it a try. I'm going to have this tracker available on my Etsy shop. It's going to be $1, friends, and you can print it and download it as many times as you'd like. You can laminate it. You can make it double-sided if you'd like as well. This is what it looks like. You can, and this is the back. Friends, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you all enjoyed it. Thank you so much for your time as well. I would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. May God give you all as many blessings to you all, and I hope that someday you are also debt-free. And I'm on this journey to being debt-free, and I always pray to God that someday in the near future that will be possible. I was able to pay some debt this year, but it has had me a bit stressed because we still owe quite a bit. So, but yeah, I'll go over that in another video. Thank you all, friends. May God bless each and every one of you all, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, friends.